We're comparing weights of pairs of vegetables in this question, and the aim is to get from the heaviest to the lightest, essentially, write them in order. So we don't know if it's greater than 1,000, we actually don't know what the value is. So I'm going to say that Q plus S is simply greater than 1,000, Q being the weight of a quince and S the weight of a Swede. We can do similar here. R plus T is going to be greater than 1,000. Q plus T is going to be accurate, 800, as is Q plus R, and P plus T. Good, so I've set some equations up algebraically. Now note, we're not trying to solve this system of equations, simply to work out the heaviest to the lowest. So I'm going to compare them one at a time. I'm actually going to look at the top one and compare with all of them and then work my way down. So Q plus S compared with the second one, there's no common terms or anything, so that's not much use. But Q plus S and Q plus T, I can see that the Q plus S is greater than the Q plus T, so it must be that S is greater than T. I can write that down. And then I'm going to compare the first with the fourth, and I can see that S is also greater than R. I can't then compare the first with the last because there's no common terms. All right, let's then take the second one, compare it with the third one. Now I can see that R must be greater than Q. Second with the third, they've both got R in, so it must be that T is greater than Q. And then R plus T greater than 1,000, P plus T is greater than 1,000, so it must be that R is greater than P. Okay, Q plus T is 800, Q plus R is 900. That means that R is greater than T. And then comparing it with this one, I can see that Q is greater than P. And then finally, the last one, there's no common terms. All right, so I should have enough information now to piece it together. It seems that S is going to be the largest because it's bigger than T and R. Okay, but which is bigger out of T and R? Well, I've got it here actually. So it must be that S is greater than R, which is greater than T, which is greater than Q, which is greater than P. So I've just used like the appropriate ones, together, and this must be the final order. It all works with the equations on the right as well. So write the following, given the mass is in descending order, it's just going to be S, R, T, Q, P. It's going to be A. So I've actually used more, I've like constructed more inequalities than I need to. But actually I tried to do this video by going straight to the ones that needed, the four that are needed. But I just kept making mistakes, so it just felt easiest in the end to make a comparison with all of them and then get the answer.